Miss Stacy here. Today we're going to do a little Disney scavenger hunt, and I have my little mini ears on. So if you would like to go get your little Disney ears on, you can for this little game. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you what the category is. Then you're going to pause the video, go get the item, and then come back to start the video for the next item. And then we are going to share at the end what we found. So the first item I want you to find, before we start, let's remember to make sure we're making safe choices. We are not going to go anywhere that is unsafe in our home or where we shouldn't be. We're not going to climb on furniture. We're not going to go anywhere that your mom and dad asked you not to go. So no climbing in the kitchen where you shouldn't be, no going in the garage, nowhere that your mom and dad have asked you not to go. Okay, so let's remember that. So the first thing I want you to get is about the movie The Little Mermaid. So find something that Ariel would need if she were to come out of the water. What does she need when she gets out of the water to dry off? So go get that item she would need to dry off when she's out of the water. Okay, so the next item you would need is for Beauty and the Beast. I hope you've seen that movie. This is something Belle really enjoys. This is a hobby of Belle's. In the beginning of the movie, she's using a lot of these things, and she's reading a lot of these things, and at one point she's really distracted because she can't stop reading these items. So go get one of these items and bring it back. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is go find something. It can be real or pretend. This is an item from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The evil queen gives this to Snow White and asks her to eat it. And Snow White eats it, but it turns out it's poisonous. So maybe you have a pretend one or actual real one. And if you don't have one, you can always just draw a picture of one. So go get that. Okay, so our next item is from Cinderella. So she loses this at the ball. What does she lose at the ball? She's wearing it and she loses one of these at the ball. Okay. Our next item comes from the movie Frozen. In the beginning of the movie, Elsa has these powers that she doesn't know what to do with. So in order to protect her family and her sister, she separates herself, and she also starts wearing things on her hands so that her magic powers don't come out. What are the things that she wears on her hands? If you have them, go get them. And our last item comes from Toy Story. I want you to go find an item in your home that you think comes alive when you're not around, like Woody and Buzz and Jessie and all those toys. What do you think comes alive and they start talking when you're not around? Go find a toy that you think is just like the characters in Toy Story. Okay, so now I'm hoping you have all of your items, so let's go through them. So the first one was something that Ariel would need when she comes out of the water, and I brought a towel. Most people, when they come out of the water, get really wet, so she would need a towel. And mine actually has fishies. It's a beach towel, so it's perfect. So it's ocean themed. So that's what I think Ariel will need to dry off, especially after she gives out her powers away. She's not a mermaid anymore, and I'm sure mermaids have some special magical powers that help them dry off easily. But when she gives away her magical powers and she gives away her mermaid powers, she's a human, and I know they can't dry off as quickly. So the second one was something that Belle uses a lot and does a lot, and that's reading. So I brought a book. This is one of my favorite books, We're All Wonders. Belle spends a lot of her time reading. In the beginning of the story, if you remember, Belle's walking through her town and she just has her head in the book, reading. She goes to the librarian and she says she's borrowed so many books from him, and all the townspeople are singing to her while she's reading her stories. So that's one of the scavenger items we found. The next is something the evil queen in Snow White that she gives her to eat, and that was an apple. I have a little pretend apple here, but yeah, she gives her a poisonous apple. She tells her to eat it, and Snow White does, and then she falls into a deep sleep. Don't ever eat anything a stranger gives you, guys. Learn a lesson from Snow White. Never eat anything a stranger gives you. But yes, this was it, the poisonous apple. The next item was, what does Cinderella lose at the ball? And that was a slipper. I don't have a glass slipper, but I just have my regular slippers. Sure, the fairy godmother grants her her wish to go to the ball, but by midnight she needs to go back before everything changes back to her regular outfits, and she loses the slipper, right? And that's how the prince finds her. He goes from house to person, trying on that shoe to see who it fits. And what does Elsa use to protect her family and from her powers? Gloves. She puts her gloves on. Now mine are not like Elsa's gloves. Mine are snow gloves. But that's right, she wears gloves so that the powers don't go exploding out until she learns to control them. So I brought gloves. And lastly, from Toy Story, what is a toy that you think might come alive like Woody and Buzz? I think maybe Pete the Cat when I'm not around. He secretly comes alive and starts talking to all his friends around here. So I'm wondering, maybe I'm not quick enough to catch him, but I'm sure Pete the Cat, he's talking to someone when I'm not around. Pete the Cat, you can talk to me, man. If you are, let me know. So I hope you enjoyed that Disney scavenger hunt. You can always do more. There's so many Disney movies that I didn't even, get to. I only got to a couple of them. But I hope you had a little fun time with me. And next time we'll come back with some more ideas, okay? Bye.